Turning the other cheek is something that a lot of people actually struggle with a lot of the time in their lives. And a lot of people actually can't do this. And human nature for us is kind of for us to like fight and argue and disagree over certain things and to use force, unfortunately. I just wanted to preface that by, preface this, this story and I guess this episode of this discussion that I'm going to tell you guys about. Just to, keep that in mind, because the other day, I actually talked to a pretty big YouTuber. They had a stream going on and I checked it out. It was like a VOD or whatever. And in the stream, this person was basically talking about how they recently had some type of altercation or some type of disagreement with someone over the phone. And they were clearly disrespecting them and not really understanding that they were being super rude. They were yelling at them, calling them names and stuff like that. And in this moment, this person decided to not really respectfully, I guess respectfully retaliate and tell them that they were being rude. I don't like being treated like this. And that you're just being a very rude, employer, that not employee, but like, they're calling a call center or whatever. So they got to respond to them. And in doing so, after the call happened, after they got off the phone, they actually felt guilty about defending themselves. And in the stream, this person literally asks, hey, that was kind of weird. I feel guilty and all that stuff. Is it right for me to, be guilty about this? Or is it good for me to turn the other cheek? I guess I really can't, just retaliate, because I guess I'm just the type of person to turn the other cheek. And I'm just like, sitting here just listening to this advice, and I leave a comment. I don't think they're actually going to listen to me because, they're a way bigger YouTuber than me. But I decided to leave a comment. But then I also thought, let me actually DM this person on Twitter. And I decided to DM this person. Of course, I'm not going to tell you guys who it is because I'm not about that. This is not like a retaliation drama thing. I'm just saying it's really funny how things happen sometimes. And I decided to DM this person, and I just basically said that because there was a long type of message, and this person actually did respond to me. At first I said, basically what I was saying was, at the end of the day, turning the other cheek is actually not a bad thing, but it's actually good for you to respect yourself in situations where actually people do not respect you, and to tell people, hey, you're not really being respectful to me right now, and I think that you're being very rude, as in a hypothetical situation like this lady that I was talking about, that they were talking about. And it's good for you to basically address that person and understand that you can respect yourself and also turn the other cheek and retaliate, and also all that stuff combined, while also respecting the other person and respecting yourself. And I was basically trying to get to that type of conclusion. This person did respond to me and call it like passive aggressive and stuff. And we have a little discussion here and there, and it kind of ended off with me basically kind of trying to break down basically what self-respect really means. And in that scenario, when you actually do self-respect yourself and you actually, address things, the whole entire thing about this is that you have to address your problems and what you have on your mind. If someone is literally wronging you, you're supposed to address that, because not only are you not respecting yourself and that you are continuing to let this behavior that obviously offends you keep going on, but you're also not also respecting the other person, because there's a small chance, also it could be a big chance. It's a chance at the end of the day that this person can learn and grow from their mistake by honestly telling them, hey, you're offending me, you're doing this, that, and the third. I don't really appreciate that. You don't have to call them out their name. You don't have to tell them, hey, you're a freaking horrible human being and you should go die. You shouldn't say stuff like that, but you should definitely be addressing your grievances with them in a respectful way. That's how we can actually respectively have differences in our society. And I think there's no problem with us having differences. But when it comes to having differences and then putting other people down, which, there's a verse from the Bible I could definitely tell you guys about. I'll put it on the screen. There's that Bible verse right there. And yes, this will be having a little bit of Christianity in there. So, if you're sensitive to that type of stuff, then this probably won't be the video for you. But there is legit a verse in the Bible talking about how you should definitely still, just because you're just such a great person or whatever, you should also respect the other person because you don't know what the heck is going on in their head. So what I was trying to say was that you got to respect yourself and also the other person so that they could actually see the good part of it. Now, there doesn't have to be anything that like bad comes from that situation, but respecting that person and respecting yourself should be integral. There should not just be you respect them and you don't respect yourself, or you respect yourself and you don't respect them. There should be a mutual understanding, a mutual respecting zone that should come from the situation. And long story short, that's actually what I said to this person, and they didn't respond. And they were kind of actually responding pretty fast to my messages. And I decided to look on their stream because apparently, they stream and I'm subscribed to them. And I was just like, oh, what's going on with their stream? And they freaking were at the freaking start of the stream when they start talking. They kind of like start passive aggressively mentioning me. And this person starts to stream like, oh, anybody want to imprint their ideology on me? Or does anyone want to, sway me? And I don't have a brain and I have to be swayed to think one way or the other now because I can't think for myself. And I'm literally like thinking to myself, dude, you literally asked in the video, what does this mean? Like, what does this mean for me to like feel guilty about retaliating and actually standing up for myself? Is that right or wrong? You literally asked a question and I answered it, dude. And that's what kind of got me. I was just like, why are you like passive aggressively mentioning me? And I know they were talking about me because, never really started the streams like that, and it's just like it's out of the blue, random. Like this dude, and I'm not trying to like really do this because I hate doing this, but I'm gonna do it right now because I think it's kind of relevant to the situation. I hate it when people legit look at like older people and they're like, why does this person do this and that and the third? And it's just like some people just don't know things. Like it doesn't matter like what the age they are. Some people are just not mature in some different areas. But the fact that this person passive aggressively mentioned me, I was thinking to myself, dang, you are like way older than me. Like I'm in my early 20s. You're like in your 30s, your mid 30s or something like that. And you're over here not addressing this with me. Like if you're feeling like I was basically trying to imprint my ideologies on you, let's have a discussion about it. I came into this discussion in your DMs talking about this in a civil manner. Civil, that's a hard word to say. A civil manner. Well, basically I was just trying to get you to, have a discussion. Maybe you could actually sway me. Who knows? I was just kind of basically trying to give you advice, but the fact that you're basically so much more older, like there is a point where at a certain age that you should be understanding that if you want things to change or be done or anything really, you're supposed to address it with people and not just passive aggressively talk about it. You're not supposed to just let it sit there and not address it, And I just thought this was really funny because this year I've been getting a lot of people disagreeing with me, like in real life, on the internet and all this other stuff. And I've been like stating my opinions and like who I actually am and all this other stuff, standing up for myself actually, because the reason why I've been feeling so strongly about this is because this whole entire year, it's only 5 months so far, but I've been like going through a personal respect journey, like trying to respect myself, because I am a very, very sensitive, kind of sometimes passive person. Unless it's like other people who are involved, I don't usually stand up for myself. But this year I have been actively trying to like mitigate that and trying to actually respect myself, and I've gained so much more respect for me. I love myself probably more than I ever have. It's not perfect because there's still a lot of things going on, but I love myself more than I've ever have. But one of the first things I had to really know was the fact that I love myself and I respect myself, and I have to stand up for myself, even if it's not another person. It's still me, and who else is going to stand up for me sometimes? Not everyone's going to be able to stand up for me in like a lot of situations. So I think it's time for me to do that. And this year has been just kind of all like that. And I've been standing up for myself, making new friends, but I've been losing friends at the same time. But I've been going through progress and goals and stuff like that. I feel like what I'm doing is right. And this situation right here kind of like showed me that I am doing something right for someone to passive aggressively mention me and to disagree with me and to think that I was basically like in like trying to like force my ideologies in there, like my opinions and stuff on them. And I'm just like thinking, I'm not doing that. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But I guess sometimes, you gotta, it's just how it is with people. I mean, you can't really blame people for having certain ways of thinking at the end of the day. But I just thought that was really interesting. And this was like a big YouTuber too, and I'm just a small guy, like, in comparison, but I never looked at that. Like, maybe like a couple of years ago, or maybe before this year, really, I would have looked at that comment and what they said, and I would have been like, oh, well, maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe I was being passive aggressive about what I said, but I don't think that's really the case now, because now, again, I can respect myself and I can already see that I was just trying to give this person advice. But yeah, I mean, respecting yourself does really go a long way. It can burn bridges that you never even thought were even there, like, I didn't think this would even happen. But on the note of turning the other cheek, in the Bible, where Jesus was literally talking about how, you should turn the other cheek. Jesus was not, and I'm not trying to like add any type of connotation to this, but there's other passages in the Bible that literally talk about self-defense. So I'll just say this: when you practice like self-defense, or when you're basically turning the other cheek or whatever, you are basically saying that this problem right here is smaller than what it probably should be, and that there really doesn't need to be there doesn't need to be any type of negative, like really bad negative outcome to come from this. People have disagreements and everything, but they have like, fights and everything. We got the typical nigga moments, and I know that's like just a joke, but that's actually a real thing that happens, not just with black people, but with like a lot of people that just disagree with people, and they don't turn the other cheek because they think it's a huge problem. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of situations that people just don't know about because their pride is just so up in the air, and they just can't see things from another perspective. So they retaliate, and they will not turn the other cheek, and they will fight back. That's not the right way to go about things. To stand up for yourself and to actually practice self-defense is not in this type of situation. Now, if someone tries to, put their hands on you, or if they try to offend you, or they're not trying to offend you, but they try to, try to say insulting remarks about you, you say to that person, you protect yourself, and you say to that person, don't do that to me anymore. And you let them know right now, don't mess with me. And that's just going to be that. But you don't have to sit there and just be some type of punching bag for people. You don't have to take everything that comes your way. That's not the way that the world even is. And even if you're not a Christian or anything like that, do you really think that any good is going to come from someone that, they disagree with you? You're not retaliating. You don't retaliate, and you're turning the other cheek. And it's like, that's cool and all, but what if that person realized how bad of a person or a decision that they made by you just saying that, hey, I don't appreciate that? And also remember, the other moral of the story is to always address things with people, even if it does seem like a hard thing to do. Always address it, because heck, this all happened, and now this person's probably like thinking about this for way too freaking long, when this is just going to be a video that I just make, and I hopefully will help you guys. But I am potentially helping people with this, and you are just passive aggressively talking about it and not really making much of a difference at all. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be another discussion video. It's been a little bit since I've done this. New videos coming soon. There's going to be a lot of crazy content. I have a KamyKam episode that's probably going to be releasing soon. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, subscribe if you want to see more. Social medias will be in the description down below. But with that being said, guys, thank y'all for watching. Have a good night if you're watching this. And as always, hasta.